Welcome everybody to Good Morning Toowoomba with your hosts Ben Apsey and
Carol Nicholson. How are you, my friend? You going well?
yes, I'm good. How are you today?
Yeah, good, mate. It's the 30th of April in the year 2020, last day of the month, mate. And yeah, interesting to see from the 1st of May, restrictions are lifted around Queensland. So you'll be able to do 50-kilometre circumference of wherever you are, so you can go for a drive. I don't think you can stay overnight though, but anyhow.
No, got to stay within 50 kilometres of your house. You can go to the shops for non-essential items like clothes if the shops are open with your family or with one other person. You can't do both. But so there's just a few little things just to allow people out of their houses and back into the community, which is really good. Today's temperature, we have a top of 28 degrees today in Toowoomba and the chance of a shower or two and a possible storm. And that's about a 50% chance between 4 and 7 o'clock this evening, so we'll certainly believe that if it happens. So.
I'm not going to believe you. They'll think you're like the Weather Bureau. You just can't get it right. So, and Toowoomba is hard to predict the weather. It always has been since I moved there in 1978. So it always has been hard to predict the weather in Toowoomba. So yeah, mate. Mate, we were talking. I rang Nat yesterday from Base Services, and mate, they're under a bit of pressure now more than ever. Their services are being called upon. And he's just seen a bit of a uptake in what they're doing. They're doing meals every day, and it's a takeaway thing now. They're not sitting in the Base Services kitchen eating. They actually do a line up and walk past. But we've got a thought. Our thought is they need some help. So you go down and buy a cup of coffee. We bought one today, right? That's the first time we bought a coffee for a while. So how about if you don't go and buy a coffee for the day, put $5 in their bank account? What do you reckon?
Sounds good.
Yeah, so the bank account details for Base Services, it's the BSB is 034221. The account name is Base Services, and the the account number is 629828. So that's 629828. It's just on the bottom of the screen there. So if you can, look, $5, $10, that'd be great. Put your surname.
Someone in need.
Yeah, put your surname on there as a reference. That would be excellent. So yeah, and on again, yeah, your favourite charity, do that. The Toowoomba Women's Collective, being Protea's Place, Emerge, Jen Shaw. If you're a big fan of Jen, I mean, she's coming back. She's sounding more positive now, so give them a bit of a hand as well. It's up to you, but Ben and I are strong advocates of homeless for a week, and mate, nearly came that close myself. So, if it wasn't for some great people in my life, I'd probably be in the same situation.
Which is the last thing anyone deserves to be is homeless, and let alone some of the people at the moment that you just wouldn't have ever thought would be, and it's just bad circumstance has forced a lot of people into some very tight situations. Yourself and myself included, as far as we're all in this together, being let down from work or off work, and we all have bills to pay. So thankfully the council passed some interesting economic relief. I know the Chamber of Commerce have come out swinging. That doesn't do quite as much for small business as they were hoping for it to do, but it does at least do something. It does help the Toowoomba region. It helps people try and pay their bills. They've gone with the free CBD parking.
Yeah,
good win.
Yep, excellent.
So they're still having the time restrictions, but free CBD parking in all of the on and off street parking.
On and off street parking. Okay, righto. So what will that mean with the parking guys then? Will they be looking after the Oakey, Pittsworth areas and that sort of thing?
They'll still do the parking time limits. So if it's a 2-hour park, it's still a 2-hour park. If it's an 8-hour park, it's still an 8-hour park. So the example would be the Neil Street car park near Empire Theatre. It's a 3-hour paid park. It's free, but you only get 3 hours of freedom in that one.
Right, and we know in the streets they've got that technology. When you park a metal, it's got a sensor there. It can tell when you park there. And if you
it does, yeah. So it triggers as soon as the car drives in. It's a little magnetic system. As soon as you drive in, it pulls that magnet towards your car, triggers it, and then as soon as you drive out, it goes away. So
right, cool. Okay, mate. Interesting. Watched the drum last night, and some of the things we've probably been talking about is getting ready for tourism. Scott Morrison said he doesn't see in the foreseeable future that there'll be overseas travel. He sees it as being a long, long way away. So he hasn't sort of put a time limit, but that was sort of his language. It's a while away. So the drum were talking last night about planning your holiday now at home in Australia. So they talked about discovering the Indigenous background of the country, which there was arguments for and there was arguments against, because we don't want to take COVID-19 into Indigenous areas. So.
Well, that's something they have to be very, very cautious about. And probably the other thing as well is, notoriously, international travel has been cheaper than domestic travel. You only have to see it with the cost of flights between international flights and flights from, say, Roma to Brisbane.
Yep.
You pay just as much for that flight as you would for, going to Fiji. So the airlines need to come to the party. Yep. If they want to have people doing that travel, they need to offer it so that it is affordable for people in this time. Yep. But at the same time, you've also got and it's probably a shout out to all the travel agents as well, is to encourage that at this point. While we can't go overseas, well, perhaps you could take a holiday to Townsville. Perhaps you could take a holiday to Darwin, or come out to Toowoomba and see us out here.
That's what I was about to say, mate, because we've got people all over the world watching this. If you're down in Sydney, come up to Toowoomba. Once the travel arrangements, you can go interstate, because Toowoomba has got a lot to offer. And I did that once. Josie Howard and I did a presentation on what tourism things are in Toowoomba. We've got the zoo, we've got Cobb and Co Museum, we've got the airport. You can go out for a drive out there and have a look around that estate. There's
the Empire Theatre. That's going to be the most important one to get back on its feet when this comes, because it is Toowoomba's crown jewel. It is the heart of our city. So as soon as the Empire Theatre can be back up and running, we need to get there and we need to support whatever's going on. And that goes in what we said yesterday with supporting local artists.
That's right. John Darren Woolshed. And of course, my cousin came over from London quite a few years ago when my daughter was first born, and we were sitting at Picnic Point having a Corona. He goes,
There's another one.
How often do you come up here, mate? I said, mate, back then I hardly went up there. Now I go up there quite a bit. So,
Picnic Point, climb tabletop, Go, now that national parks and bushwalking, you're allowed to go out and do that. Go and climb tabletop. Head out to the Bunyas for a drive, or even head out to some of the regional areas.
That's what I was about to say, mate. The Granite Belt. I've met Mel, who publishes this magazine, the Granite Belt magazine. This is the autumn edition. If you want a copy of it, let me know. I can get some copies. But it's got some great ideas to do out here in Stanthorpe and the region out here. Also Warwick, there's heaps to do in Warwick as well. Dalby, Chinchilla. As John Wagner said at the launch of the tourism group there, he doesn't care where people go. Just go somewhere. Gatton.
That's it. And even places like Down Steamer, that's a community organisation that's very close to my heart. And they're just around the corner from where I live here, restoring Toowoomba's last steam engine. They've got a rail motor there that's almost ready to go, and that sort of stuff, it's a tourism potential.
That's right.
Just sitting there, not being noticed. And their idea is to be able to take, once the steam engine and the carriages are done up, to take it down to Stanthorpe for wine tours, to take the rail motor up and down the line through the Toowoomba CBDs, to start at the railway station and do, it's a really nice Art Deco 1920s rail motor. So when they start things, get on board.
That's right. So check out the postcodes 4350, 4370, 4380, 4405, which is out in Dalby. Just check out those postcodes. I forget the postcode for Gatton. Mate, Pepper Jane really appreciated the shout out last night, and to all the musicians. Yesterday, sorry, a shout out to her, Pepper Jane. All the musicians were thinking about you, and I think we're building a bit of an audience there now. So please like and share our Good Morning Toowoomba, and if you've got any ideas for us, certainly let us know if you've got a story. So in wrapping up, mate, I've got a fair bit to do today. I've got to go and edit this, but I'm Darryl Nicholson from Toowoomba 4350 TV, more than just a postcode.
And thank you very much for joining us, everyone. I'm Ben Apsey with Good Morning Toowoomba.